Hi everyone, it's Anya Grace here, and in this video I'm going to teach you and share with you how you might subconsciously be draining your feminine energy and how to stop doing that so that you can actually attract more elevated divine masculine energy into your life, both within yourself as well as from the outside in a romantic partnership or love relationship. So welcome. I'm really excited to be here today. I am at my studio and it's a rainy day here. So welcome. Let me know where you're from and feel free to just pop any questions in as we get going here. We'll be on live for about 20 minutes. So the first thing I want to talk about is one of the biggest mistakes I see women making when it comes to stepping into our power is we think that we need to change something about how we are right now. So it's actually a statistic that more women read self-help books than men. And the reason that this is really interesting is it speaks into the conditioning that we've received as women. So one of the most intense ways that we give our power away as women is actually in our own belief that there's something that we need to fix or change about ourselves in order to be worthy of what we want. It's a conditioning, it's a pattern, it's a code that we've been activated in that keeps us in suppression. So we are actually the source of the suppression of the feminine for as long as we stay plugged in to those old paradigms. So one of the really, really important thing to look at is why are we actually, why has this paradigm been built in such a way to drain our energy as women? And if you've heard me talk before, I talk a lot about the power of Shakti and the value of Shakti. So Shakti is the divine feminine energy. It's creative potential, it's sexual energy, and it's the heart energy as well. Every human being has it, whether they're male or female, but women are specifically connected to it in a really, really powerful way. So it's one of the most valuable energies on the entire planet. So there's an entire infrastructures built to actually drain Shakti and keep us from understanding our power and worth. And one of the ways this happens is by plugging into our consciousness a belief that there's something that we need to fix in order to be more worthy. So see how it's really like, it gets kind of backwards with all of this, because it's like, well, I thought that I needed to, anyway, it's very tricky. It's very nuanced, the way that we are actually the source of the suppression of the feminine. So just a few examples of how you may actually be giving away your power as a woman, lowering your frequency, your energy, and ultimately then attracting experiences and people and circumstances that do not reflect you and your highest power. So every single time you step on a scale and you look at that number that you see and you judge yourself based on that number, and you either allow your energy to lift up if it's to your standard, or you let your energy spiral downward if that number is not what you think it should be. So that's a very simple way that we've all experienced, at least one time in our past, giving our power away. We are, in that moment, participating in a paradigm that keeps the feminine suppressed. We are the ones giving our power away. So in truth, your weight, if you're truly embodied in your feminine energy and embodied in your feminine power, your weight should be fluctuating up and down, because that means you're not approaching weight and health and fitness from a rigid masculine energy mindset. You're actually with the rhythms of your body and fully embracing the power and the beauty of your fluctuations. That's empowered feminine energy. But we've been, again, conditioned to get really rigid, really controlled, to try to find body freedom and food freedom through control, which doesn't work. So another example of how we will unknowingly give our power away is every single time we beat ourselves up for not exercising, every time we beat ourselves up for overeating, feeling shame after having an emotional breakdown. I definitely have experienced that, where I'm in a relationship or even with my family members or friend, and I have my strong, powerful feminine emotions rise up. And then I judge myself for those emotions, and then I spiral downward. I feel shame. That's a way where the conditioning, our conditioning as women, that old wounded paradigm keeps us suppressed. Another way that we give away our power is really approaching anything from an outcome-based perspective. So approaching going to the gym to make your body a certain shape and size versus going to the gym because it feels good. Feeling good, being motivated to feel good, is a feminine energy approach to health, wellness, and beauty. Doing anything because of the external outcome that it will create, even doing a job because of the money that it's going to give you, even if it doesn't light your heart on fire, is a masculine approach to life. You can do it, and we can master that, of course. Anyone can master that. But is it actually you as a woman to embrace your feminine power and fully learn how to live a life that is expanding you to your fullest potential? So I'm all about us stepping into our highest feminine expression and our highest feminine potential, which means that we have to ultimately go through this detox process of detoxing from ways of doing things that are putting us in our masculine energy. Anytime we're overanalyzing or thinking we should be someone else, should be showing up in a new way, or we need to fix something, we're actually moving out of our heart space, out of our body, and into our head, which is the center of our masculine power. There's nothing wrong with it, but you are going to be operating in your electric energy, which means there's more energy that's moving outward rather than energy moving towards you, which means that you're penetrating and actually pushing things away from you rather than gently, gracefully receiving and magnetizing things into your life. So I'm just going to go through three. Actually, before we continue, I just want to let everyone know, perhaps you already know because I've been sharing it everywhere, I'm doing a 3-day detox, disempowerment detox, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week. So it's starting tomorrow, November 20th. And it's a detox from these limiting belief systems and the submissive energies, the submissive paradigm, the submissive programming that we've been put in unconsciously and subconsciously as women that is actually keeping our energy stuck and suppressed. So it's detoxing from those beliefs so that we can really step into our power. All right. So awesome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Great, great, great to see everyone. That is a free training that is happening Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday starting tomorrow. And I'll put the link below at the end so that you can hop onto that. So 3 things that we're going to go through in this video shortly to help you very quickly detox from this paradigm that might actually be draining your feminine energy. So the 3 things that I see most women struggling with is struggling with money and finances, struggling with their body and their relationship with their body, food, and exercise, and struggling with relationship. So either in a relationship and they don't know if they should leave it, or they're hanging on to something because they really, really want that one guy to step up, or they feel like they can't attract a guy that they're actually interested in. You know, that feeling of like maybe they get a lot of attention from guys, but they don't feel like it's someone that you don't feel like it's someone that you really want to be with. So those are the 3 things that we're going to actually detox from right now, really briefly. So think about for a moment all of the hours that you have spent perhaps in your life really, really longing for and wanting love to come into your life. How many hours, if you just kind of think back to all the years that you've been alive, think about all of the time and energy you have spent wishing, wanting, and waiting for love to come into your life. Perhaps even on the phone to your best friends, just really craving for love to finally come in and being in that energy of longing and wanting and giving your energy to that desire. No one can take away your desire. And if there's something that, if your soul really wants something, it is meant for you. But actually the energy of contracting around a desire, contracting around an outcome, and wanting it so desperately that you're actually contracting your energy around it is the very thing that's actually repelling what you want from coming to you. Another example of this would be with money. The energy of scarcity and the energy of complaining or worrying about money. You know, the biggest principle with detoxing from these paradigms and belief systems is you have to get behind a new energy before your external circumstances change. So you have to, when you're really detoxing, be so aware of your thoughts and the mindsets that are coming into your consciousness, and be willing in the moment to stop and pause, feel into, wow, this is a really abusive thought that I'm having, or this is a really detrimental thought that is penetrating itself into my heart space, activating my heart space to be in a lower frequency feeling and emotion. So it's all about noticing when those thoughts come about, that's your divine masculine, and recognizing that's actually not an uplifting thought for my body and for my heart. My relationship between my head and heart is not an elevated relationship right now. So the first thing that you need to know about detoxing from this past paradigm is that you have to be so conscious of these lower belief systems that have been programmed into you. Remember to have compassion with yourself through this process, because these are ancient, this is ancient conditioning. We've received conditioning for thousands of years that has kept us out of our power for a reason. Because if we actually know our power, you know, the sky's the limit. If we actually know our power and we fully release and let go of the belief systems, the distortions and the contractions in our energy field of who we really are, we gain all the power that ever was and ever will be. We have access to that right now. The only thing that is keeping you from that dream, love, and relationship, infinite abundance, wealth, beauty, and health, your ideal body, is the distortions in your energy field that are blocking those things from coming into your life. Another way to say that is the contractions, your mental and conscious contractions around these things that are actually blocking the flow of energy from flowing freely through your body. So Shakti, Prana Shakti, Shakti energy is an energy. We are made of energy. This table in front of me is made of energy. My computer is made of energy. There's energy waves moving through the air right now. We are all energy. The physical space around us, anything that is physical, has contracted. So the energy is contracted, and that's why it becomes matter. But ultimately, matter is energy. So your thoughts, a really good way to think of this is, if you think of money right now, think of money and notice how if you're struggling with money, you might instantly feel a tightness somewhere in your body. So it's a perfect example of how a thought, an energy that is non-physical, becomes physical, and you're actually contracting your physical body, which is energy, and it's getting denser. That's how our consciousness is built. Our whole nervous system is built off of this myelination process, where neurons unite, they connect, and there's synapses and electricity flowing through our nervous system. But the myelination is actually this material, these cells that get wrapped around these other cells that ultimately insulate. But all it is really, it's densifying and contracting energy around electrical impulses. So it's creating contraction. Our whole reality is built off of infinite energy, source energy that's neutral, being contracted into physical form via our thoughts, masculine energy, and our feelings. So the thoughts penetrate the heart space, and the heart space receives, incubates, and births physical form. So that's the threefold soul prism that one of my teachers, my main teacher, Shannon Port, talks about. But that's not what we're discussing today, except that it is related, obviously. So think about all the hours you've spent wanting love to come in. And ultimately, that's energy spent. That's energy contracted around a desire, but it's actually you contracting your energy and repelling that very outcome from coming. Think about all of the hours and time and energy you've spent perhaps even in the moment of spending money, feeling contracted and tight around money and your finances. That contraction is being felt by your universe, and you are actually repelling what you want, abundance and freedom financially, from coming to you because you're contracting in fear. Health and body and food and exercise, every single time you've beaten yourself up over overeating, you're contracting. Literally, you might feel your stomach contract and get, shameful or upset or judgmental about what you just did, this action you just took. So you're continuing to contract your energy around that very thing. Anytime your energy is contracted, you're the opposite of attracted. you're the opposite of attracting what you want to you. So to fully detox, it's really, really the process of noticing everywhere in your life where your mind contracts around something, and then your body responds to that. So, and then ultimately going through the process of releasing the contractions, breathing through the contractions, relaxing enough so that your energy begins to flow more freely. You're more in connection with that source energy, that infinite potential, and you're no longer living in this limited, dense, 3D material paradigm that doesn't know how to flow freely between source and matter, that doesn't know how to release what's no longer serving you. That's always been such a vague statement, like release what's no longer serving you. To me, I've never loved that statement because it feels super vague. But to me, another way to say it is release, like soften enough the contractions in your body so that new energy, so that dense energy that's actually pushing things away can release itself and get recycled back into that neutralized source energy. And then you can receive in place of that new, fresh, loving, infinite potential that is more in alignment with your soul's highest purpose. So just think for a moment of all of the hours you have spent giving your power away to these fears, to this conditioning, to the judgment, the self-judgment, the self-criticism, the wanting, the wishing, craving, desiring, longing for. All of that time has been your choice. You have been the one participating in that paradigm. If you want to step into your full power as a woman, it is up to you. You get to be the healer of the collective consciousness by stepping out of the consciousness that's no longer working. So, I'm running out of time. There's a lot more to say, but this is what the whole 3-day detox is all about, is completely detoxing from that paradigm that is keeping us suppressed and trapped as women. And in that process, releasing yourself and opening yourself to the infinite potential that's available right here, right now. You are already divine. You are already divinity and sacred energy. There's nothing more you need to do. There's actually nothing to fix. It's more a process of seeing yourself clearly. And the moment you see yourself clearly, all of the power comes back to you. All right. So it's moving away from the belief that when XYZ happens, X around my body, Y around my finances, and Z around my love and relationship. When XYZ happens, then I'll feel happy. It's completely taking away the belief that your happiness is dependent on those things. It's not. Because if you attract those things with that belief, it is a sure sign that you're going to somehow either sabotage that outcome, a relationship, or maybe, your body or money, or so there are 3 things. When you hyper focus on XYZ and say, when love finally comes into my life, this is the problem with that belief. You're perpetuating the illusion that your happiness is outside of yourself. So then when you enter the relationship, it's not actually, you're entering it from a place of void, and then you're needing to build up from the outside, and that's not sustainable. Secondly, you're actually repelling that very thing from coming into your life because you're contracting around that desire and then you're pushing it away. Thirdly, again, when you do attract that into your life, if it's from this misaligned place, you're ultimately either going to sabotage it or it's not going to fully be what's possible for you. You might be in a relationship, but is it the relationship that's a highest match for your soul's potential? If you can attract, any of us can attract a relationship right now, but your soul is calling for you to rise up, elevate within yourself, and receive an energetic match to you and your highest potential. Okay, so the detox is all about detoxing from the conditioning that is keeping you in a state of self-suppression, submission, and self-sabotage. So I'll put the link here. And just remember that, the reason that we have been conditioned this way is because Shakti force, your value and power and your energy as a woman is so valuable. So it benefits the powers that be. I don't know what it is, but there's a reason that we have been suppressed for so long. So ask yourself, ponder that, journal about it. Why do you think the feminine has been suppressed? Why do you think feminine energy, sexual energy has been locked down and suppressed? Spend time with that question, and so much wisdom and information is going to come to you, and also so much healing. That's a really, really important question to ask. Okay, and lastly, with all of this, as a byproduct, or when you release the distortions, the contractions, and these belief systems that are keeping you bound, you line back up with source energy. You instantly elevate to your highest self. You reveal to yourself and the world who you really are. Then, as a byproduct of your alignment, everything you want comes in. Infinite money opportunities, beautiful body that just kind of gracefully takes shape. Amazing friendships, amazing love relationships come in, and intimacy as well. So everything comes as a byproduct of your alignment, but alignment and releasing the distortions really must be the first, really must be the first desire than anything that's more like an outcome based. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. Our feminine energy is linked to source, absolutely. I asked myself this question only this afternoon and couldn't stop talking to myself, giving myself answers. Beautiful. And that's actually a 5D quantum trick, is to, rather than ask for the answer, ask for the question. Ask for the right question to ask. And when you ask a question to the universe, the answers begin to come to you. So don't necessarily ask for the answer. Ask for the right questions, and the universe will respond to that in a really, really powerful way. And you'll receive answers that are of the highest, that aren't actually just based on your ego and what your ego wants to hear. You'll receive answers that are fully, so wise and incredibly powerful. All right, so I will put a link in the comments and actually in the description of this video. And I'll see you guys in the training. It's 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Wednesday through Friday. And yeah, I'll see you in the detox. All right, lots of love.